It's really, really important when you're looking at the European Union to know that this commission, the commission of President Ursula von der Leyen, has come in trying to achieve two major things: transforming the European economy on the digital front and truly transitioning towards a climate sustainable thing. The ambition on climate sustainability and energy independence is unrivaled anywhere. They have written into law that they will become carbon neutral by 2050. They have written into law that they will reduce their emissions by 55% by 2030. This is a huge thing that's been driving 45 pieces of legislation. And in those legislations, all those legislations related to buildings, cars, the emissions trading system, all of these things, every business is going to have to deal with both the cost that it suggests and the opportunities that could come from it, depending on where you sit. We still have not passed, or the European Union has not yet adopted all of the laws that are in the Fit for 55 package, which is this great big package of 30 plus pieces of legislation. But there's a belief that they will actually do most of them, certainly by the end of this year. Next year is going to be the interesting year, because that is when politically you will have a major change in the Commission president. You will have elections for the president. You'll have elections for the parliament. You are also having a lot of elections in member states. We'll put that to the side. And after that, we will be moving into the very key area of where this legislation will be implemented, where there will be regulations affecting transportation, vehicles, cars, trucks, where it'll be affecting the entire housing industry, rebuilding. There's a big debate going on in some member states. And I think that this is where companies are going to really need to position themselves and are going to want to be able to know someone who can give them insights into how this is happening in Brussels, and insights and ability to reach out into the member state capitals. All companies, all major Western companies from Europe and from the United States, they know that the transatlantic economy is their home economy. There are $3 trillion invested by American companies in Europe and $2.5 trillion by European companies in the United States. So how those two economies work together is critical. And specifically in this area of climate and addressing climate sustainability and energy, that will be key. There is a major political transition happening here between the Commission and the European Parliament next year, as well as in the United States. And it happens only every 20 years because we're on different cycles. And so how the politics of climate change play out in Europe and in the United States, how they address these different issues, how they protect themselves against competition from imports if they're increasing prices at home, and how they subsidize new energy industries, which both the United States and Europe are doing, will play out into the details of these things. And again, FIPRA's ability to be present in Washington, to be present here, to be looking at these things across our offices and across our office mates, I think that this is one of the things that makes FIPRA special when it looks at this question of climate sustainability and energy independence. You know, I was just talking about FIPRA's ability to look at what's happening in member states, devise strategies that are based on that, and look at the United States as well, and look at it from a big perspective. That was one of the things that attracted me to FIPRA. The company understands in particular that while decisions are made in Brussels, they're not always made only by Brussels. And so if you're only focusing on the Brussels bubble, you're missing the politics of this. And that's where the FIPRA network is an important part of how we work. For me, I've been doing transatlantic economic policy for 30 years. A large part of that as a U.S. diplomat, a large part of it is representing the U.S. Chamber of Commerce here in Europe. And I learned early on the importance of this connection between the politics of the member states and the politics of Brussels. I also feel that FIPRA has a values-based approach, and that sits well for me. I'm a former diplomat. I'm someone who actually believes in public service. And in a way, FIPRA is a consulting firm that has a public service ethic behind it. And that's unique. And that appeals to me, and I hope that it would appeal to others.